We here. We here. Mic check. Mic check. Okay, we here. Man, when it come down to it, the crazy part is this, man. Like a lot of people looking at how let's go. How I'm gonna start with this. So I was looking at a video, and there was a kid talking to his mother, and the mother was talking about tradition. And when it came down to the mother talking about tradition, it was simple and plain coming like this. The kid was saying, "Mom, traditions are, are old dead people, rules." And the mom was like, she never thought about it like that, but she's like, "You kind of right. Traditions come from like the older generation, and everything that kind of push forward to maintain a sense of order or something like that to the degree." But then you have the new generation coming up saying that traditions don't work in the new society. So, basically history repeats itself if you don't actually, you know, understand what you went through and try to rewrite it, make it better. Most of the time, traditions, get people out of situations. If it's a tradition for everybody in the family to own a home, and when it comes down to it, a lot of us ain't owning homes, that's a big part. But say the least, you see the warning labels up there. I'm gonna talk about some gender stuff too. But, starting off with this. I know everybody gonna come over here when I get on these topics talking about them women and the men and stuff. But basically, we started off slow. And then we're gonna start going into with tradition. The crazy part is this. It's not even just, a situation to where these young people don't know this and that. Like my mom owned a home. My grandma, she owned a home outside of when she divorced my granddad. Both of them had homes. My great grandma, they had farms. Actually had two farms. One situation where the farm got you know, how it is back in the day. So they end up having to get another farm, a quite smaller farm, you know. And the funny thing is, like, the more I start looking at history and going back into it, like even down to my great grandmother, she was a sharecropper with my great granddad. Didn't hear anything about slavery, but that's for another video. But overly getting into it, it was a rite of passage for everybody to do something with their life, get a house, you know, do something. We had the occasional, situations to where, life wasn't all that peachy. My mom started off like that. Uh, I couldn't even say that about my aunt. Can't even really say that about one of my uncles. Well, yeah, my uncles from my grandma's side, yeah, both of them had it, started off kind of rough in life, then eventually picked up as they got in their 30s and, got homes and families and everything structured out. But saying the least, it goes back to what my grandma always said, you know. And the funny thing, we in Black History Month, so let it be known. There's two type of black people, two type of mindsets. The ones that kind of want to go out there and get it, be better than the last generation, and then there's ones that squander blessings and just don't know what to do. So it's not even a mistake towards them in which all things, but if you're squandering your blessings and you just don't know, you can't move forward. You know, some people are put in position to actually lose, you know, and you yourself have to make a better choice to get a better outcome. Say, for instance, going into it with the men, talk to Alonzo all the time, Alonzo Hall, the All Star advisor. Um, just looking at Marty McFly's video. Marty McFly was having a discussion with Aunt Auntie the Purge, his channel, about the passport bros and all that. And the craziest thing that he was talking about, and it struck with me, the way you live with those guys over there going for those women. I don't have a problem with it, you know, but it's the way you push that you looking for marriage, that you want this type of woman, but then you paint a different narrative when you go over there. If you find one woman, you deal with her, you go back and forth with her, cool. If you go over there, just smashing, just let it be. Just go to smash and do your thing. I mean, if you want to pay $3,000 to go smash across these, I'm not mad at you. I'm not. You got the money. Hey, do your thing. You got the vacation time, all that. I'm not mad. But then you can't get mad at the outcome when he come down on you, when pressure come on you. I mean, that's what you want, right? Go out, find your own way, do your own thing. I'm not even mad at that. Same thing with the women. Women, they date out. They looking for better options. I'm not mad at the situation they get themselves into. Everybody got a choice in things that they do. You pick the outcome for yourself. Because at the end of the day, we all know when we hear these situations about certain women, certain dudes, you pick them. And that's where the gender topic is going. You know, just got to stay out of those circles. Just plain and simple. Stay out of those circles. You know, like the other day, heard a situation where a guy was on that pineapple show, and literally the guy said, with you women, as you date men, as I date men, was basically referencing from them, as I date men, this is what this and this, and that's what you get. Even the lady on the show actually heard her, but to the degree, the lady was more focused on the man not having kids, and he basically explained to her, Dick this. Just gonna go on and say it. Dick this. He wanted to practice that by not having kids and not having that, and it to a degree, let's be clear, it's a burden having a kid with a chick, you know, even married or not married. It's a burden having a kid with a chick that don't respect you, and to the degree after not wanting nothing to do with you. That's a burden because you're constantly gonna get disrespected. You're constantly gonna be looked at as a check. You're constantly gonna be trying to get milk for everything. I just recently seen the dude who played in the NBA. He was giving his baby mama over $1 million in cash. I'm sorry, with I think money orders or something, because he had receipts, checks or whatever. And child support hit him up, told him that he owed over $1 million. He said, "Yeah, I've been giving it to him." They said if you don't give anything to the state, that's a gift. Sheila in the building. What's going on, Sheila? Like to hear you come back a couple of videos, Sheila. No, long time, but I know we have our situations and we have things going on in our life. But nice to see you moving around in these YouTube streets. But getting back on topic, you know, that's just what it is. We have these situations where the laws ain't perfect. Just like women, you know, want to be protected from men that beat on them, men want to be protected from women that financially abuse them. It's on both sides. You know, when the women want equal pay, the man just won't be treated equal when it comes to the court system. You know, if we can have this whole equal thing across the board to where if my kids are in a situation, I have just as much rights as my kids. I don't have no problem with giving a woman the same pay I get. I mean, going back in the Kevin Samuels bag, you know, if we're gonna talk about it, men work more hours than women anyway. So it don't even matter if she got the same pay as me. I had a situation where I was talking to one of my friends, and his girl kind of got offended because I told him my wife would never make more money than me. And when it came down to it, they was like, why is that? Why would you say it like that? I was like, well, when it comes down to this, I work harder than my wife. I do more hours than my wife. So I was like, I know she'll never make more money than me. And then she got quiet because the truth. I mean, with her, she a different breed. You know, she kind of runs. She kind of runs. I wouldn't say like be a man, but she literally runs in that scenario that she works hard. They just say that I don't want to put her in that category as being a man because working hard don't make you be a man. Because there's women work like I say just as hard as men, but she worked harder than most women. She had two jobs. Um, to the degree she worked harder than the dude she was with. That was the shocking part of me. I had to pep the dude up, be like, hey, bro, your girl, she kind of, running the block right now. Like she gonna outpace you by 2, 3 times. I'm like, what they say, the between the sprint and the marathon, she gone. Like, you just gonna chill, and I had to, ask him like, you ain't got no get up about yourself. And they got to the degree where he went and got, a little side hustle and start bringing in 2 streams of income. But say the least, that's all. The women want a fair shot. Men want a fair shot as well. You know. And like I say, I always tell people, I get it. That's why I like doing gender topics. I don't like talking about this stuff. But certain things has to be discussed when it comes to rights, when it comes to choice. Because saying the least, this is the crazy part about it. A lot of us choose the people we with. We're not in arranged marriages. So when a lot of people start coming out talking crazy on their significant other than that, this is the path you chose. When it comes to a woman complaining about abuse from a man, and you constantly get abused by every man, this is the path you chose. Them, every dude you've been with is a prototype. The guy has tattoos. Not shaming nobody with tattoos, but to a degree, most women they pick these rough guys, tattoos, you know, wilding out or street or however you want to call it, and those same guys keep doing the same thing to them. But then they want to go and say, well, all these guys are the same. No, it's the people you choose. Same thing with the dudes. I never understand that with the dudes. When dudes start talking about a lot of these women are the same, you know, to a degree, I probably honestly dealt with one girl that didn't know how to cook. One. I've honestly only dealt with one lady out my whole life that didn't know how to cook. It's a lot of them don't know how to clean properly. I mean, I give you that all day. I give you that all day. You know, I I clean my wife up under the table all the time, all the time. You know, it, it's not nothing personal, and my wife knows it. I tell her that all the time. You know, and she she had a job cleaning. But my thing is, when you clean, there's certain levels to it. You know, my cousin, his wife always talking about a deep clean, and he go behind her and pick up so much dirt behind her deep clean. She get all these different cleaning products. I remember my cousin worked for a meat deli, and he went in there, and they tell you ways of cleaning. They say, well, when you go to clean, spray this solution here, do this solution like that, and then do this and do that. Now you know at those uh the deli, you dealing with a whole bunch of meat, blood, scraps, all that stuff. So basically at the end of the night, when he go to clean, he would literally take Clorox, he would take certain little brushes and scrub off the butcher table. They have like a white cutting table. He cleaned that up spick and span, you know, and go through, put the Clorox on there, set it on there. Then he come back because they have a water hose. He said once he spray it down on there, let it sit, let all that stuff fester up. Then he come back up with the degreaser. Then he hit it back again with the pine saw or something. But basically, ultimately, he used to get it so clean to the point the butcher was like, man, I want this guy cleaning for me every night. He's like, we ain't never had this stuff this white. We ain't never had the cutting board deep. Like he would get deep into the cracks from slices, deep, deep. Those brown spots, light them up, making the wood back brown again. And it's all according to as people say, the training, because that's how it is. Your parents depict what type of adult you're going to be unless you change your life. Unless you put yourself in different circles, your parents, if you look at your parents, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be exactly like your parents. Most people, if they don't change their circumstances in their life, you're literally just like your mom and dad. And let's face it, if your mom and dad wasn't shit, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be the fourth or the fifth shit. Understanding that you literally have to change your environment, change everything that you do. It was always given to me that I have to be better than my dad. I always tell people, this is the whole story. Yeah, I learned life insurance and everything from my great grandmother at a young age. I didn't really learn the finance of my house because me wanting to be an entrepreneur, I couldn't learn that in my house. But it didn't take away that my granddad owned his own business. But that was something he didn't push. But I seen the motions, and that's what I wanted to do. Have certain freedoms. I can have a job if I want to, but still having that certain freedom to where I can go to work when I want to a degree. Because if you have a certain business of service, you still got to get the job done. Letting that be the understanding. But getting back into it, my dad was in the military. When my dad passed, I've always said that my dad left some things in place for us that most kids didn't have, most parents didn't have that opportunity of doing. My dad spoke 7 different languages. I barely can speak 2, but that's the thing. Me striving to be a little more better in my life, learning a second language. Like and thing too with my dad having a situation to where he can leave that money for me and my brothers. It sparked that in me to even get more deeper into when I had the family, when I started having my family and raising my kids. I need to get this life insurance. I need to get more than enough because that was the whole notion of within our family. Everybody got about uh at least $5,000 to $10,000 in life insurance. I'm doing the math. I said, man, I can't leave this for my dad left way more than this for my mom and us. You know, that goes in to say with guys now. Like if you have kids, if you ain't got no type of life insurance, no structure set up for your kids, I'm just gonna say it out front. Hey, that's a problem. It's a real problem. You know, talking about being a protector and a provider. Who are you protecting? Because without no money, what can these kids do? Especially if you ain't around. And we always say, yeah, man, when my child turned 18, they got to go. After 18, that's when you get a bulk of the, hey, dad, I'm going through some situations. My oldest son, he never borrows anything over probably like $200-300. But it come times where he be like, man, I overspent this. I need to get a little money for this, you know, because he has no big responsibilities. His sister, she kind of manages her money a little better because she jumped out in the business early. So she knows when she don't pay and those invoices don't go through, she gotta, make up for those losses, you know, and having a situation to where yourself is prepared for things and having an understanding how to move and react to things, it comes from the training from your parents. Or once again, like I said, you want them to be better and going and seeking the knowledge. It ain't no difference between a man or a woman actually preparing themselves for life by putting themselves in circles with the right people. It's according to that person. I've known women who were raised in the hood, Section 8, food stamps, low income housing, own a house now, nice car, either married or not married, two different situations. I know a girl, I think probably was like into my senior year, found out this girl was smoking crack. She was selling her body so like her family could smoke crack. I don't know how she got hooked with crack through the family, gotta be, because all of them were smoking crack. Nice looking girl. Start selling her body for crack to feed her family. Now this girl, she has a successful, you know, business. She has, you know, a degree. She's married. I think she only has one kid. But other than that, like she went from the bottom to the top. That's why I always, when I hear people about these situations about these men not choosing, man chose a former crackhead. And a lot of times it boils down to this. Most men know what they have to change in order to have a successful relationship. You know, it boils down to saying the least. Keep your health in line, keep the smell right, get you a little money in your pocket. You can get a woman all day. Appearance matter. Just like men like nice looking women, women to the degree, guess what? Like nice looking men. Same thing with a woman. Key things. If a woman wants a man, she, first of all, just have to be nice. Smile and be nice. It kind of cringed me when I seen those videos of Kevin Samuels and women's like, I don't have to smile. You're right. You don't have to smile. You don't have to get married too. You can't have both. You want to frown and look. look at your not at your best, but at your horriblest, and say a man needs to choose this rough in the face looking woman. So for one, women just need to smile. Two, it's not even being submissive. I could deal with any chick that has this second one. Have an understanding. It's not even about being submissive. You getting on your knees. You walking behind me. It's understanding. Because the understanding part is this: you're not combative. You're not going at me. You're not putting me in a situation to where I have to come down on you hard. If I say don't go spend that money because I got something planned for that, you don't even know what it is. But to a degree, if you're in a relationship with me, you should automatically trust me, and vice versa. If I'm in a relationship with her, I should be in a position where I can trust her. That's one of the biggest things I've always broke up with women. If I can't trust you, why do I need to be with you? If I can't trust you, why do I need to be with you? That's first the rule with all relationship between men and women. Can't trust them, don't be with them. So I mean, and the third thing is pretty much should have been the first, just like with the men. Appearance. Look good. Keep yourself up. You know, just like a man, just like you want to see a nice looking man, a man wants to see a nice looking woman. If you keep your appearance up, you smile, and you be understanding, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get married. But what happens with most women? They get trained by other women who are single, who are chasing the bag, and they promote a certain lifestyle. And ultimately, that's what you get. You fall into those traits. Same thing with men. I told one of the guys in this YouTube streets in this space, he was talking about, a situation with him, always having to live up to certain things that his uncle messing around with chicks and stuff. I said, nah, dude. I said I had that same narrative put on me. I went out there running through all those chicks. I said, when it came down to it, I looked at myself as having like the golden ticket. Why would I end up giving every woman access to the golden ticket? And he's like, dang, I never thought about it like that. I'm like, yeah, dude, you valuable. You precious. Man, like you giving up your seed each and every time, it's a possibility you might end up having a baby. No matter what condoms, condom bust. I done had condoms several times bust over me the years. And I wore condoms all the time. You know, it keeps you from a situation for one not having kids, not even with all these STDs, but it helps a little bit, when it comes down to it. But saying the least, man, it gets rough when you really start looking into it. A lot of people in their situations because they chose to be in these situations. You know, lose the weight, understand where you at in life. And to the degree, some people just find happiness to themselves, but don't even if it gets to a point, don't even lose that weight for that woman. Lose that weight for yourself. Health conditions. I told people I'm 275, 5'11", pretty much 6 feet. I gotta lose this weight. Driving trucks, man, that stuff put a weight on you. You at these restaurants, and that's all I eat at restaurants. I don't eat at fast food like that. I eat at restaurants that have good home cooked food. I eat at certain restaurants that have, like Mexican restaurants, soul food restaurants. You know what I'm saying? Every now and then I go to a burger place. Wendy's if that. I ain't ate McDonald's. Let's see. The last time I ate McDonald's was 16 or 17. And I had a chicken sandwich because the guy didn't give me a parfait. I ain't ate breakfast that whole morning. Didn't hardly eat none that night because I was working out. Then went to work, and I'm like, man, I'm already late. So let me just go ahead and, just run up here with this guy. We had to drive to Augusta, I think, to do a job. So did the job in Augusta. Got paid like I think it was like 250 to go to Augusta and do the job. And we had to do it for I think 2 days. Or was it that day we did? Oh no, 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 my bad. That was a 1 day job. Then the next day we went and delivered. But when it boiled down to it, saying the least it was that. You know, that was the longest before that, I think I ate McDonald's 3 years before that. So that put me at what, 14, 14, 13 around that time. Like McDonald's just one taste. Like McDonald's used to be the best thing for me when I was a little kid. Just one taste right. I left it alone. Start like now I'm starting to leave all this stuff alone. Eating this whole week I ain't ate nothing but vegetables. Monday was the first day I ate chicken because I had this rotisserie in the house over the weekend, and I'm like, man, I just don't want to throw it out. So I might as well go ahead and eat the rest of it. Make me a sandwich or something. End up taking the rotisserie, put it in some pasta my wife made, and that was it. This whole week, all I've been doing is eating nothing but vegetables. You know, for the first 2 days, I ate raw vegetables. Now I'm starting to implement cooked food. Yesterday I had some soul food. That's the thing we eat at. Stay away from the salt. Any place that have a lot of salt, I don't eat at those places. I don't cook salt in my food so I could taste it. Salt retains water. Learned that from back in the day when I used to wrestle and train. Salt retains water. A lot of people like their food salty, high blood pressure. Hey, keep the weight on. Just understand it. But saying the least, man, do better for yourself. That's the biggest thing. Do better for yourself. Shout out to Gold Professor, the 9 laws of self-governance. Law number 3, apply self. But you got to do better for yourself. Ain't nobody out here putting yourself in a position to win but you. You might have people that can, put the best foot forward, look out for you, put your name in certain circles, you know, but it's up to you to make it happen. The old saying, you can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make him drink from it. My cousin came with the same scenario. You can lead a horse to the middle of a pond. He still had to bend his head down to drink, you know. And when it comes down to it, a lot of us have situations to where it's somewhat out of our control, but we put that situation in front of us like that. Like I said, going in these relationships, you chose that woman, you chose that man. For whatever reason you like that person for, you already know what you want. Just like they say in a sense, when a woman wants to be married, she want this certain type of guy after she done ran through all these other guys that's no good. You already knew the type of good guy to marry. Can't nobody keep up a facade for 5 to 10 years and you not know. I can give him a couple of years. You see the signs when he always go out and don't call, leave his phone in the house, and baby, I forgot my phone. But it comes down to that though, saying the least, man. A lot of people chose wrong, and they need to just admit it. That's why I say I don't like dealing with these gender topics. But as we said, a lot of people chose wrong. All these women out here complaining about dudes not marrying them. You knew dude wasn't gonna marry you. Dude was out here living his best life. And that's one thing I can kind of laugh at with Steve Harvey when he talks about that stuff. He talked about the forever bachelor. You know, this dude even proposed to you, give you 3 to 5 years proposal, but dude ain't in no situation trying to get married. He just trying to keep you around. You good company. You look good. Y'all have good sex, make you feel good. Pay all the bills. If you want to work, you work. If you don't want to work, you ain't got to work. But then there's a sense behind that as well. What type of woman of her sort, not having kids, don't want to do better for herself? How you doing better for yourself sitting at the house while this man is providing and doing everything for the family? A lot of women want to be power couples, Will and Jada, Jay and Beyonce. Those women work. Those women work. After having those kids and getting those kids in school, those women work. That's the funny part. A lot of these women be complaining about guys ain't doing this and doing that. What are you doing? Because like I said, go back to the lease. If all these women who work, who you idolize and want to be like, you need to go get a job like them. You know, and let it be known. If we gonna go really full head force into it, a man who puts you in position and tell you do not go to work, you should be questioning that. Why all of a sudden this man tell you don't go to work, don't do nothing, just stay at home. I'm gonna take care of everything, and y'all ain't got no kids. So what you supposed to do? Just be a sex slave? Just be in the house? And I mean, because 9 times out of 10, most women don't cook. That's what a lot of guys say. So y'all gonna always go out to eat? That's what we saying, you know. So a lot of women put themselves in that position, and they always say, "Well, this guy didn't want to marry. This guy treat me like this." Look how you put yourself in that position. You don't want to work. This man pays all the bills. You ain't got no money. That's like a situation where I seen too, where the woman got kicked out of her house with her kids. Even though it was a skit or not, if a man kicks a woman out 2 o'clock in the morning, say the least, you ain't got no family you can go to. The woman was begging, please, please don't put me out. Please, please. I done seen dudes get put out of their women house. You know what they do? They say, dang, you gonna kick me out? This how it's gonna go? All right, cool. They grab their stuff, they gone. They at their homeboy house, they sleeping in the car, something like that. How bad is it for a woman that she can't go back to her family? Can't go back to can't go back to dad, can't go back to mom. You ain't got no auntie you can talk to. That shows. That literally shows the type of relationship you have with your family. And it also shows, you know, the way you move in life. Same thing for the men now. You got to hold these men on that principle too. How many men are in position to actually garner respect? How many men are in position to where, you dealing with the right woman and y'all on the same page? Because there's men out here who tricking too like this. They out here, man, my girl, she buy everything, she do this and do that. You got to take anything she give you. If it's abuse, that's what you got to take. Why? You put yourself in that position. Excuse me. And with that position, you can't complain at the outcome. You don't want to work. You a pimp. You a this. You got these women out here that that take care of you. You can't get mad at the outcome. You know, you sitting here saying that these women love you for this and love you for that, and they take care of you. So that's why you don't have to work. That's why you in the position to win. You can't get mad at the outcome when that woman sit there and tell you you can't go out to the club. or you let this woman control your life like that. She pay all the bills. If it works for the man, it's gonna work for the woman the same way. That's why Gabrielle Union out here talking that, oh, I ran the house, so that's why my man can be like that. Men say it. Ain't we living in an equal opportunity time? You know, like I said, we we have these standards on each other, and we have these situations on each other. But then we not gonna call a spade a spade. That's why I say with the toxicness between men and women, honestly, if it's a woman when I was dating and she wasn't no fit to me, I wasn't gonna try to force her to be my old lady. I was just gonna move out. I was gonna move around. You know, I wasn't gonna be in that situation. I'm not putting no woman in a situation to where I'm forcing myself to be with her. I don't think no woman is that worth of my time. Honestly, even boil it down to my wife. If me and my wife were to get a divorce, I'm gone. I'm moving on. I'm not gonna stay where I'm not wanted. And that's what a lot of people fail to realize that, man. Like, why are you forcing yourself to be in a relationship? A lot of women do. A lot of men do that. And we don't even call it out. A lot of men be single. They don't want to be single. They got one woman that want to choose them, and they be up on it. I was just looking at this video on Sexy Red. I don't even want to say dude's name, but dude was dealing with a woman. He was 30. She was like 19. She had a 6-year old at 19. Y'all do the math. That's 13. First child at 13 years old. Dude was dealing with her. They was in law school or whatever together. And when it came down to it, no, nah. But when it came down to it, this guy, it was so crazy. This guy literally was dealing with this chick, and the other guy he was telling a story to in front of the woman and the dude, the other guy was looking crazy at him. He was like, how old were you, like 17, 18? He was like, no, I was 31 years old, dealing with a 19-year-old, doing drugs. So 9 times out of 10, he was doing drugs too, but he was head over heels with the chick, knowing that the chick liked her baby daddy, and he did the unthinkable. And we don't talk about this with a lot of these crazy men. This dude went and got a ring. He borrowed $800 from his brother. Ain't got no money. That's rule of thumb. If you ain't got no money, you shouldn't even be getting married. Went and proposed to the chick, and within the span of a couple of weeks, the chick got proposed to her boyfriend when he got out of jail, and they got married. And her and the guy didn't get married. No, the chick was 19 years old, and she had a 13-year-old. No, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm sorry. She was 19, and she had a child at 13. She had a child 6 years before, prior. So she had a 6-year old at 19. Yeah. If I said that wrong, I'm sorry about that. But yeah, she literally had a child at 13 years old. And she was 19-year old with a she was 19 with a 6-year old and dealing with this guy. And technically he tried to put it out that he wasn't on drugs, but you can read between the lines. Everybody in that circle he was dealing with was on drugs, but he never said he was on drugs until he broke up with the chick and started. Man, I had a rough patch in my life. I lost my job. I lost my house. Lost my car. I was on drugs, and I'm like, whoa, whoa. And yeah, you could try to say, well, the woman, this one, no, this guy, he did all that stuff. That was all him. That was all him. He was the one that was dealing with the woman. He the one put himself in the situation of, dealing with a 19-year-old 31, and she kept cheating on him. What do you expect? She's 19. If you were 19 years old, which he was, you knew how you was at 19. You was horny. You was trying to go in the game. You was trying to deal with everybody. Like, to a degree, this guy had no life experiences, so everything was new to him. All the stuff that he went through was kind of new to him. I'm like, this is stuff you should learn when you're young. You should be making mistakes and pitfalls in your early 20s. So by the time you get about 25, that's when mostly 25, that's when you start making good decisions in your life. I know people that still making bad decisions at 40 years old. People that still making bad decisions at 40. And that's the thing. Same thing. wh- I was in when I was 19, got a full time job, graduated school, had a full time job, had a part time job doing promotion. That's how I got into marketing and promotion, doing street promotion. I used to do clubs, I used to do movies, artists. I promoted them, concerts, all that stuff. And I had a full time job moving furniture. And when I would go out of town, people like, oh man, you out of town, how can you still do the manager job? I knew the dude, and it wasn't like no check in regularly, clock in stuff. It was just when events need to be promoted, you go to the clubs, you go to certain venues and promote them. So the best thing for me to do is hire all my friends that didn't have jobs. I was like, why y'all don't have a job? It used to amaze us. Then the ones that did have a job, they was getting fired. I was like, how? Why? But end up getting, a lot of them, jobs. But it was just like I didn't understand it. Like, why y'all messing up like this? No job. Then the jobs that, I helped them get the job with me with the promotion. But then when they got other jobs, they didn't have no hustle. They didn't want to do too. I'm like, dude, it ain't a lot of money, but it's part time. Like, I go pass out some flyers or something like that, do some posters on some poles, and in about 2 weeks or so, or a week or so, I get paid like $300-400, and I only did like 30 minutes of work. When the club let out, you go to this club, drop some posters and flyers. Go to this club, drop some posters and flyers. I probably do like an hour or two of work, and like nothing, like really an hour or two of work, and that just, Friday and Saturday, just them 2 nights. Probably did 4 hours of work for this whole project and got paid like 250, 300, sometimes more than that when we did certain movies, like the movie promote, we were getting like five to like $700 to promote them. And that was just like 1 or 2 days before the opening, or like the week before. Like I said, a total of 4 or 5 days, and I'm only working like 1 or 2 hours. 1 or 2 hours. With movie promote, you're not going to the movie theaters promoting these movies because they have the posters already there. You go to the mall, pass out some flyers, and then we were giving away gifts. Like, I did a promote for Old Spice. I end up giving out like the sample packs for Old Spice body spray. I got 20 cases of that crap. I gave my cousin a whole case. I think it was like 50 in a case. Gave my cousin for him and his brothers like a whole case. We couldn't give that stuff away. I mean, like so much. Like they gave us like 15 cases. So that was what, 750? Yeah, 750. And since I gave my cousin a case, like 700 small bottles of Old Spice spray. Then we did a promote for Friday After Next. That movie was funny around Christmas time. We was giving out hot sauce. They had hot sauce or what barbecue sauce because the brothers on the barbecue spot. If everybody watched Friday After Next, so we giving a barbecue and told the ingredients on the back just so people won't be kind of skeptical on taking it. Wasn't prop stuff, and gave away T-shirts, hats, all kind of posters, everything. I still got pretty much a lot of my posters when I doing my marketing, and I just want like when I get my basement, I'm gonna put all my posters up on like these plaques and everything with paper behind it. But man, saying the least, get back to this topic before I get ready to go. People got to change up, man. It's your fault. You know, the common denominator in most of these relationships is you. So you can't get mad at everybody else because life not treating you right because you got to do good for yourself, and that's the number one thing. Keep yourself together. Worry about yourself. Do things right for yourself. Men have situations they go through. Women have situations they go through. Nobody's perfect. You got these gurus and all these people on YouTube trying to tell you and teach you how to live your life, and their life ain't no perfect than yours. You know, I don't like heard many of these guys. Oh, don't deal with baby mamas. Like I know behind the scenes. I already know a lot of guys are shaming me. Oh, you deal with a baby mama, this and that. But at the same time, all y'all single, y'all lonely at night, y'all crying in y'all pillow. But y'all steady worrying about me and my relationship with my wife that I've been with for over 15 years. Y'all sitting here crying in y'all pillows, but y'all worrying about me and my relationship. And I keep telling y'all, it ain't for everybody. You know, I don't encourage guys marrying single mothers. Me and BGS had this talk. Only reason he know for the most part why I married my wife. I wanted kids. The best way to, see a woman in that environment and raising kids is looking at a woman that has kids. I already had things that I wanted to do for my life already set up. So, being told that's why I married my wife that had kids. Why I'm gonna get shamed for it? That's what I wanted to do. That's why I laugh when all these guys be trying. Well, you married a baby, and that's what I wanted to do. You can't shame me into something that I want to do. You can shame me into something that somebody, coerced me and talked me into doing, like most of these guys. I laugh like most guys in this space got baby mamas and did like prime example, me and the dude cool. There's no shot towards him. But he was getting on me about marrying a woman with kids. And this dude got like several kids by, some different women. So I'm like, what do you think gonna happen to your kids and your baby mama? You think your baby mama's gonna stay single forever? You think your baby mama just, if y'all are messing around, she just only letting you hit and nobody else? Like these situations happen. Like you out here literally making baby mamas, but then you say you don't want men to go deal with baby mama. Like it's asinine the way that some of these guys think, and I don't understand. Like I want the good girl talk. Most of the old heads in this space, I listen to them. I hear the way they move. These dudes had themselves together. Situations took place and they lost it all. I get that. But when it comes down to it, let these young guys fall on their head. Let these young guys learn from your mistakes. I'm not encouraging no guy to, go the opposite way, go deal with other women. It's your choice. But at the same time, I can only tell you my story and it's up to you. Yeah, but see, with you having the baby mamas, you not out here in these crazy spaces, like you're not telling all these guys with these crazy talk. Man, I listen to so much stuff and I be like, ah, I'm cool with guys, so there's no pressure. I go on a lot of channels. I just don't share their stuff on my channel like that Because like I tell people, I try to keep these gender topics away because our community need more substance. We need people to learn about, finance, learning future goals, buying a house, saving for stock, raising kids. That's why I don't be want to having these topics about these men and women because we steady pointing the finger at this person doing wrong. We steady pointing the finger at this person ain't right. But then we not looking at ourselves and our community. We can we can shame, other cultures and other people for being racist towards us, but we racist towards ourselves. And at all month, this is Black History Month. A lot of us, you know, dropping dropping in, talking so much crap with each other online. You know how many people I got into online, and when I first came in, I'm like, man, it didn't really get to me until start a lot of guys starting trying to get personal, and they know how to try to get up under your skin. And it was probably one guy literally wanting to fight online. Other than that, all these other guys and other people we argue, I literally don't have no problem with because why? This is YouTube. When I found out a lot of these people out here, they Clark Kent. And Clark Kent, a lot of people, if you into comic books and all that stuff, Clark Kent is Superman's that's his uniform. Batman, Bruce Wayne, he wears the Batman. So he's always been Bruce Wayne. He became Batman. Superman has always been Superman. He became Clark Kent. And that's what a lot of guys are in these spaces. They're Clark Kent. They put on this facade, they put on this show. And when it like once again, there was a guy on here. I'm be talking junk about him. All this dude bash truck drivers, talk all this stuff about how truck drivers are. Come to find out, nothing wrong with you being a teacher, but you a teacher. You said you work on the stock exchange. You talk so much crap about men who drive trucks and don't have no substance, don't have no life, don't have this. But then you a teacher. There's nothing wrong with being a teacher. Just say I tell people I drive trucks. There's nothing wrong with me driving truck. Provide for my family. I got enough money to drop money on people cash apps. Obviously, my truck driving, me doing trucks ain't that bad. If I'm out here dropping money on people cash apps, but at the same time, man, we gotta do better, man. We really have to do better. And this toxic back and forthness in the community, like I said earlier, if a chick dealing with a dude and she ain't working, and the dude put her in a position out of work and she ain't got no kids, that's something wrong with her. She ain't got no type of get up and go. She want a man to take care of her, so she got to accept everything that man. If that man put her on punishment, she got to take that bad boy, cause that's what she want. You ain't got no kids. What you doing at home? Only woman I knew that took that type of stuff was Peggy Bundy. Peggy Bundy sit at home watching soap operas and eating bun buns, waiting on Al Bundy to come home. Love and marriage. Other than that, I've never seen a woman just want to sit at home with no get up and go. Don't want to do nothing. I understand raising kids all day, but after that, what else you gonna do? And then even to the point that women that do stay home, you know how many women that I've talked to and really, got to talking to on YouTube. This one lady, I don't forgot her name. She literally has a folder to clean her house. Like she has a folder with a checklist and everything to clean her house. That's how deep and thorough she is. Even with the kids helping them homework and stuff like that. That's how deep and thorough she is. Now that type of woman, she needs to stay home. Why? Because she's dedicated to the process. That home is spick and span. The kids are on par. The man with his business, she helps with the business on par. Spick like that's the woman that stays home. She stays home 24/7. She got immunity from, going out and working all this stuff because why? She putting in the work. Look how many women don't want to do that. Even with these dudes, man. Sad to say, if you want a good woman, you got to do better, man. I, I, I mean, it ain't even. I ain't even jumping down on these men for doing that, but it's a lot of men that want better women, but when it come down to it, hey, you gotta do better for yourself. I mean, I just don't get it. Like you ain't working out, you ain't contributing to your life, but you want to be. I've never seen the likes of Beyonce going after any other man like Jay Z, and they didn't have money. And we all know if Jay didn't have money, Jay wouldn't be with Beyonce. He would have to have some superb swag, as people say, to be with Beyonce like that. Certain celebrities don't deal with certain people, and it's a knock for it. It's not a knock for it. So when it comes down to it, if you want to be in position to win, hey, you got to get in position. You got to literally either have the money or have something that you can bargain with these women in these spaces when it come to me. I've never seen a man with no job live with his mom and just nothing, no car, nothing, and he can go pull a woman that's a lawyer, doctor. You know, it's a 50-50 off charm because you can crack a joke, make them smile. Most women go for that. If most women see potential in you, they'll deal with you on that plane. You know, if most women see potential, they'll deal with a man that has potential. But it's very few, far in between, man. With that said, man, I'm out of here, man. I'm about to go ahead and clock in and bust down this clock. All right, you know what I'm saying? We here and we gone. Appreciate everybody for coming through. Shout out to everybody in the building that came through. Like I said, the gender topic between everybody, we got to do better. And oh, Fifi, I forgot your name yesterday when I was talking about these chickens. But yeah, we got to do better when it comes to this gender topic. We can't be like a woman. She does something, she deserves it. She put herself in that position. You know, until you change your outcome and if you want to do better for yourself, you change your outcome. Nobody's gonna change these outcomes for you. Same thing with men. Men wanted what was the three I said for men to get married and to be in position, you gotta have the look and the smell. You gotta have the money, and then you gotta have the business about yourself. Women, same thing to a degree. You gotta have the look and the smell. You have to be understanding. You know, it ain't about being submissive. It ain't about none of that stuff. Being understanding. If we're in a situation and I tell you do something and you rationalize, let me see what he's talking about because this might be in my best interest. Cool. It ain't about being submissive. It ain't even about cooking and cleaning. You know, because if a woman is real good, a dude will go pay for cooking and cleaning lessons. That's easy. If you didn't get the training at home, a guy will pay for that. I said it best in BGS. He kind of, got on me about it. I was telling him about my great grandmother. My great grandmother, she taught me how to cook and clean. She said, because if you get a good woman that, probably can't cook and clean, you're going to have to make that decision. Do you want to stay with her just for her looks? And he was like, you was being trained. And I was laughing. I said, but at the same time, I didn't have to depend on a woman because I know how to clean and cook for myself, you know. But like I say the least, man, you got to do better with yourself, do better with your life. Any situation you go through is because you putting yourself in there. You got to get yourself out. Stop being in these long-term relationships that goes nowhere. And that's speaking to most of the young people. If you older and you still going through this mess, shame on you. You too old to be going through these broken heart relationships and crying. I always say this, you know, when I talk about people getting their life together, get life insurance, you should be doing all that when you're young. When you're older, you shouldn't have to keep going through these mistakes. You shouldn't have to keep going through these problems. That's why I say I don't like doing these gender topics because I be want to really put feet to the fire and I be really want to go off. That's why I say I'm gonna have to build another channel to talk about stuff like this because it needs to be talked about sometime. It's not an everyday occurring thing. This stuff needs to be talked about sometime. You too, brother. All right. With that being said, you know my motto I always say, we here and we gone.